Up with KREM begins now.
Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday. Welcome to Up with KREM. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Brandon T. Jones. We also want to welcome you in if you're streaming us on KREM 2+. We also want to say good morning to meteorologist Thomas Patrick because he's standing by over there in the Weather Center. And Thomas, you've been telling us it's kind of a relaxed forecast for us the next few days.
Cold, though. It's January, so it's going to be cold one way or another. It's just a matter of how cold is it. Well, yesterday was our coldest day so far this winter. Today and this morning, not as bad, but still cold outside. Still at 19 degrees here in Spokane, but that is up from 13 yesterday. So we're faring just a little bit better overall. Maybe it takes the edge off just a little bit. You'll still need a hat and you'll still need gloves on your way out the door this morning. But those temperatures, again, feeling a little bit better. So we're hovering right at about 20 degrees, as you see in Spokane Valley, and as cold as 16 on the north side of town at Whitworth University.
All righty, Thomas, we'll check back in here with you pretty soon. As for right now, we're tracking the traffic impact this morning. Good amount of cars out for 6 a.m., but things do look like they're moving pretty smooth. This is a live look at I-90 and Freya. Here on Up with KREM, we bring you weather and traffic together every 30 minutes. Well, this morning, President Donald Trump is starting his first full day back in office.
In his speech yesterday, he vowed to make a lot of changes, including rescue a nation he described as in decline, saying the golden age of America has started. Let's get to the video here. A slate of tech CEOs, including Meta's Mark Zuckerberg, Amazon's Jeff Bezos, Tesla's Elon Musk, Apple's Tim Cook, Google's Sundar Pichai, and the CEO of TikTok, Shou Chew, attended Trump's inauguration. The tech titans were seated on the dais where President Trump delivered his remarks. Also in attendance, Eastern Washington's new Congressman, Michael Baumgartner. He was in the Capitol Rotunda for Trump's swearing-in ceremony. He posted this picture and wrote on X saying, quote, "Wonderful to be at the inauguration of America's 47th president. May God bless our republic." Idaho Governor Brad Little traveled to D.C. for the inauguration of President Trump. He released a statement expressing his excitement and hope, citing his desire to, quote, "put the dysfunction of the past 4 years behind us."
So this is January 6th.
All right, and if you missed any of Trump's inauguration, you can find it on KREM 2+. That is our streaming app. It's free to download on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.
Well, during his first few hours as president, Trump signed roughly 200 executive orders, rolling back dozens of Biden-era policies in the process. The president offered clemency to all of the nearly 1,500 people charged or convicted in relation to storming the Capitol on January 6th. That includes members of the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers. Ethan Nordine, a member of the Proud Boys from Auburn, was sentenced to 18 years in prison. Trump has ordered him to be released.
And TikTok is largely young people. I guess I have a warm spot for TikTok that I didn't have originally. But, you know, I went on TikTok and I won young people up by 36%.
Well, and all about 30 people with ties to Washington state have been prosecuted for taking part in the attack. Senator Patty Murray responded to the president's pardons. She released a statement saying, in part, what the president is doing is wrong. I'm going to keep speaking the truth and fighting for our democracy. And you also see some video up here of TikTok. We're going to get to that here pretty soon. We've got the quote pulled back up. But Senator Murray went on to say paper over the history is something that she will not allow President Trump to do. From the history and reality of that dark day for the lessons we must learn from it. Well, President Trump, he also signed an executive order directing the Justice Department not to enforce a TikTok ban.
So this delays the ban for about 2.5 months. The social media app temporarily shut down on Sunday, January 19th. So unless it cut ties with its Chinese parent company ByteDance, the law was recently upheld by the U.S. Supreme Court. Last night, Trump discussed his changed feelings towards the popular app.
And TikTok is largely young people. I guess I have a warm spot for TikTok that I didn't have originally. But, you know, I went on TikTok and I won young people up by 36%.
So the order also says Trump's administration will review sensitive intelligence around national security concerns related to TikTok.
Well, new this morning, Afghanistan's Taliban government released 2 Americans in a prisoner exchange. The family of Ryan Corbett, one of the Americans in the exchange, said Tuesday their hearts were filled with overwhelming gratitude. The Taliban abducted him in the summer of 2022 while on a business trip and held him for 2.5 years. The Afghan Foreign Ministry said the prisoner exchange was the result of, quote, long and fruitful negotiations with the U.S. Shifting to North Idaho now, the St. Vincent de Paul warming shelter is the only overnight warming shelter in Kootenai County.
Now staff say because of the shelter space, they may have to start turning people away. The shelter used to hold 60 people. Recently, rising maintenance costs forced the shelter to move under the St. Vincent de Paul housing. This move caused the shelter to reduce their capacity to 25. The shelter's executive director says it is able to open their shelter at 33 degrees or lower at a time when he says the need is growing.
What we notice is that the waiting line, as folks are lining up to receive access to this resource, is getting longer and longer. And so we are being very intentional to make sure that we can work with our community to keep it open as long as possible.
Staff say anyone who is turned away by the shelter will be directed to the North Idaho Crisis Center. They'll provide transportation for anyone who needs it. Across the nation this morning, more than 18,000 Costco workers could walk off the job if a labor dispute is not resolved.
Yeah, Tim, and according to the Teamsters Union, workers are demanding better pay and benefits. If a deal is reached, they will hit the picket lines in less than 2 weeks. The union says 85% of its members voted in favor of a strike. Costco operates more than 600 warehouses across the U.S. and Puerto Rico, including here in northern Spokane County, Spokane Valley, Clarkston, and Coeur d'Alene. We're making calls to find out how our local Costcos will be affected by this potential strike. So far, the company has not responded to requests for comment. And this morning, the Justice Department is taking aim at Walgreens. The federal agency is suing the pharmacy chain for allegedly providing millions of unlawful prescriptions. It claims Walgreens knowingly filled the prescriptions even though they didn't have a legitimate medical purpose. The lawsuit claims this has been going on since 2012 and included a dangerous amount of opioids. Walgreens says that it follows all federal regulations when filling prescriptions.